the HomeBuilder program come to an end, or do you intend to keep running it right throughout this year?
The program settings have been finalised now, so it has had a role in getting these important projects brought forward and happening, and so the settings have now been finalised. So those opportunities have been put in place, people have realised them, and the whole point of these programs, whether it's JobKeeper, whether it's HomeBuilder, whether it's the COVID supplement on JobSeeker, all of these were designed as temporary, targeted, proportionate measures to stand in the gap during the crisis and then enable the economy to stand on its own 2 feet. We're not looking at renting an economy in the future. We're looking at having an economy that stands strongly on its own 2 feet.
Many of those incentives end next month. What's your plan to make sure the economy doesn't fall off a cliff path?
Well, there's $240 billion, in fact 251 to be specific more broadly, that has been pumped into the Australian economy in a record period of time. That money is now sitting on the balance sheets of households and businesses all around the country. Confidence is what unlocks that and then takes the Australian economy into the next phase. But the measures we still have in place, very important ones, the job hiring credit, the JobMaker job hiring credit, the apprenticeship support initiatives, they continue. The instant expensing, which continues, which drives the investment. As the Reserve Bank Governor himself has said, the challenge now is about the investment that comes from the private sector. There is a point of handoff where the private sector stands up, and that means the government sector has done its job. Supports that we provide more generally over time, they continue, of course they do. The social safety net, a strong and effective incentivised tax system, R&D concessions, those sorts of things. They keep the investment flowing. And when you look at particularly our manufacturing program, $1.5 billion investing in critical manufacturing industries, the investment we're putting into new energy technologies, all of this continue to support what we're doing as an Australian economy, working together, governments, business, research institutions, scientific community and so on. So our plan is for the Australian economy to stand on its feet, for the Australian economy to get well clear of the crisis. You don't run an Australian economy on crisis settings when you've got through the crisis. We still have some challenges ahead of us, but we are certainly moving beyond that.
Speaking of the challenges here in Melbourne, are you concerned by the outbreak at a hotel quarantine facility, the Holiday Inn at the airport? Are you concerned at all by the government's handling of that, given that they've said repeatedly that Victoria's hotel quarantine standard is the gold standard?
Well, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't confident. I've just flown down from Sydney today. That's why I'm here. Business as usual for me, being in Melbourne here today. But I'd say this, look, I seek to support every state to be as successful as they possibly can be in what they're doing to manage the health issues around the COVID pandemic. So, you know, I don't have a favourite in any of this. I'm not looking to score them. I'm just looking to support them in what they're doing. And that's what Australians would expect of me. And so, you know, how they talk about each other is up to them. I'll leave that to them. But what Australians, I think, want to see is us working together. And I've got to say the states and territories do. They do work together. They might have the odd state sledge here and there. But honestly, at the end of the day, that's not something I'm particularly interested in. I'm more interested in how they're doing things on the ground. We're putting significant support in to support the Victorian government here, as we did when Victoria hit the wall in the middle of last year. And we worked with them to get Victoria out of that situation. We'll work through them on this situation. But as I said last Friday, the risk matrix is changing this year, and our responses will change this year. You know, we understand what happens and then we learn from it, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So I believe our system is stronger today than it was 3 months ago, than it was 6 months ago, than it was 9 months ago. And that's why it gives me, and I think Australians, greater confidence to step forward into 2021. We'll manage these things along the way. We have, and I suspect that will continue.